Welcome back to Popson. Hi, let's play some more Victoria 3. Last time I thought I got a little bit peeved. I dare say. Because we're trying to get our Manifest Mexico achievement, for which we have all the required land now. Last province we need to take, or last, what are they called here? Region we need to take, has been North Dakota. We also needed the US of A to not be a great power. Now, they're a great power. We had them like way down here or something at 500 something prestige, which is not great power rank at all, and I'll get to that in a moment. But apparently there's a grace time. It does say here for an extended period of time, or extended time, their rank will decrease if they are reduced below it for an extended period of time. That period of time is apparently years. Plural. I mean, our truce timer to them is already 2 years in. So, well, I don't actually know that it was a 5-year truce. It's at least a 5-year truce. It probably was more than a 5-year truce with what we did. But I don't actually know when we ended this war. Anyway, years have passed and we didn't get the achievement because they never actually stopped being a great power. And now they're back. And we're running out of time here. Not only did I just haphazardly play the last episode or the end of the last episode because we were winning, right? I didn't need to focus on playing properly. Also, we have a timer because, am I recording that Steam FPS overlay? I think I might be. I'm sorry. I'm going to remove that for the next video. But today you're going to see my FPS here. Well, actually, while I'm talking about this, let me just try and fix that. Because we're not going to see that achievement anytime soon, are we? So I might as well turn off third-party overlays again, so that doesn't confuse you as much. And that should fix it. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, point is, they're back. We're going to have to reduce them again. The only way I see is to fight them again and somehow keep them low for longer or crush them so much in that next war that they're just below the threshold anyway. Now, I tried to look up how these things work because, I've just been fumbling my way through mechanics in the game and through tooltips, but sometimes you need to look things up. Unfortunately, things were not utterly helpful. I did not find any information on the length of the grace timer. No idea. However, I found out a little bit about prestige and how it factors into rank. And apparently, you're not limited to 8 great powers, as I thought. It is everybody that is within 75% of the prestige leader, which nobody is. So 75% or more of their prestige. And then a multiplier of the average prestige in the world. I believe I read 5 times, but I don't believe that. Now, I don't know what the average prestige is. There's a lot of minor people here. But I guess we can just see this. If we hover over, say... who are you? Oh, the French capitalist revolt. I like it. The good old capitalist revolt. Because they have 933 prestige. 1035 is the threshold right now. So that is probably 5 times the average. Certainly not 3 times the average, which they said in an earlier dev diary. Because 1035 does not divide by 3 cleanly. So unless there's some running going on, I think. It's 5 times. Anyway. Point is, there's this threshold. We can't do much about it. I thought whether we could maybe boost a almost great power nation to push the US of A down or something. But that's not going to work. Well, it's going to work a tiny bit because of the movement of the average GDP, average prestige. But really, it's not going to work. So... we can, of course, increase our own prestige and thereby increase the average. But does this say, doesn't really, but roughly it's going to give me a number of nations, isn't it? Because these have their rankings. I see 190, I see 198. So we have about 200 nations. So we factor into the average prestige by 1/200th. So for every point we want to push up the threshold, we need to get 200 prestige. That's a lot. So it's probably also not how we do this. So I'm just seeing beating them up or them having a revolt, which might help. Now, If we maybe have a little look at some of their states, how are they doing? 40% turmoil, 55, 61. They're not doing too well. So we might see another revolt coming up. This is not... I actually don't know if you can get a revolt directly from turmoil. But it probably means that a lot of the factions are unhappy and are going to revolt. But you might also be able to see regular ones pop up. That is kind of my hope. Otherwise, we're just looking for another war in 1923, which hopefully will lead to them falling below the threshold. Well, for them joining the war, not just saying, yeah, you sure have your primary war goal. And then we hopefully can crush them for long enough. All right. Until then, we want to fix our country. And there are problems. Now, well, problems. Our country's doing really well. But there's still problems. There are always problems. One of those problems is that we're no longer gaining money. Now, we have a huge stockpile of money. We have 320 million in reserves. So we have some time. But we're losing money and I don't like it. The reason we're losing money is that we actually managed to use up our thingamabob investment pool. Now, we used to have, ages ago, we used to have a law in our economic system. It was laissez-faire, which gives 50% capitalist investment pool contribution. We went down to interventionism for just 25% because I wanted to be able to fund a bunch of buildings or subsidize them. Was it smart? I don't know. But now we're on that place or in the position where that's a problem. The Prussian liberal revolt is trying to sway us on their side against Prussia. Now, kinda into that because I remember Prussia being a fascist revolt before, and I don't like fascists. So I'm tempted to join this war. I must say yes. Let's have a quick look at the numbers on the sides though, before we agree to anything. This is the liberal revolt. This is Prussia proper, supported by the Hohenzollern, which are their own state. That's funky. And what I would like not to see is like Spain or somebody. I'm gonna accept, whatever. Let's put some fun into this here game. Who immediately joined here? Bavaria? Don't tell me. I mean, we could just send troops, right? We're not above just sending troops. We have them. Why not use them? But I'm kind of not super in love with doing that. I'm also not super in love with unused construction production. But I have somewhat lost my steam or my drive, let's say, where the economy building is concerned. Ooh, what happened here? I guess I built a lot of farms, didn't I? I don't really... Well, the fact that we won, at least that I feel like we already won, but then we didn't, is annoying to me. Oh, we took over... What did we take over here? Ammunition plant, 3 arms industries. It's not much, but they're still complaining about the lack of hard wood. Which, I mean, we could fix. The issue being that we already have extra wood. And you can't produce hardwood without also producing wood. So, yeah. Not really loving it. What are we even building? Iron, railway, steel. Okay, let's not build iron or steel. I see engines, quite frankly. I see engines, I see tools. I see coffee, but I don't think we have room for coffee production anymore. And mean, most other things are not that bad anymore. Sulfur isn't great. Maybe some sulfur. Sulfur. Can we actually do some wood? Oh. Can we buy hardwood? Can we just buy hardwood rather than bothering? Import hardwood. Do you want 500? Probably don't want 500. It's not going to tell me here, is it? I can't wait for the UI update because these things frustrate me so much. We need 2,000 hardwood. That is a lot of hardwood. So we might as well import 577. Then maybe also import these because there's a lot of money to be made there apparently. By getting it from the Russians, sure. Still want to build tools, engines, and what did I say? Not hardwood. Because we're buying that. Tools, engines, and as tempted as I am to build synthetic factories, I'm not gonna. Looks like we should, from all the required things, but they're losing money hand over fist. Let's not do that. So let's just go build a bunch of tools and a bunch of engines. Do we actually not care about proper chairs anymore? We do still care somewhat. It's just hardwood is an issue, right? What about clothing? I mean, luxury clothing is always a thing. But do we actually have spare extra clothing? We do. Oh, loads. So that's something we need to focus on too. Okay. Tools, engines, and then I think I want to have a look at our trade and whether we can't sell a bunch more clothing. It might be the French or somebody being in a rebellion and not able to buy our clothing right now. But I'm still unhappy about it. No, I still am also unhappy about the fact that we cannot see spare infrastructure. Oh, maybe I overdid infrastructure in Mexico. Good Lord, what did I do? What did I do? Well, let's have some factories there. Some tooling workshop A's. You are not it. Bajio, sure. Kansas, why not? Why not Kansas? Why not Zoidberg? Alright, that's a lot of tooling workshops. Probably too many tooling workshops, but I'm done with finesse. And the other thing was engines. And 103. Kind of weird to build that in Texas, but I guess it's fine. Nobody available in Chihuahua. We should check on Chihuahua and its ability to maybe free up some people. Because there might be some technological improvements we could do to the production process in Chihuahua. So there are actually some people. I forget where it is though. It's probably actually somewhere in actual Mexico, isn't it? I think I know by now. But since you mostly interact with these things from menus, I actually don't. Well, I do interact with these things from menus, that is. You're fully automated. You are not fully automated. Let's go assembly lines, free up 30,000 people. And surely that'll be a start. Don't call me Shirley. Chihuahua. Oh! It was a start, but the unemployment was eaten up really nicely. So maybe we have something else we can do. The lead mines are fully automated. The dye plantations are not. Dye plantation. Alright. Money is going down. But again, we know why. We're building things and our investment pool is not covering. Also, we have unrealized taxes in somewhere. It should tell me here. Oh. That scared me there. War's broken out. What war? Okay, that's a lot of Bavarians. Maybe we do actually need to send an army or two. Why don't we send 100 good Mexican folk and have them deal with the freaking Bavarians. On what front? On that front. But also I want to look at trade, right? Because we have stuff to sell, especially clothing. Really would be nice. It is in the list. I was about to say it's not in the list. And without open to 5,800 to the Qing. Ka-ching. Didn't even mean to make that pun. Another 4,600 to whoever that was. That's a start. How about 4,000 fertilizer? Do I have spare 4,000 fertilizer? I have a spare 400, so maybe not. It feels like that was more early on. Things must have changed. How much glass was that? 4.9k, so no problem selling this chunk. Probably even this chunk. And anybody buying my cloth? Actually, yes. So to the French. Anybody selling me radios these days? No. Okay, let's have that roll for a moment. Could help with our situation here. The traders, I think, have to pick up in level first before they manifest Mexico. What? Enable third-party overlays. That's too late. God damn it! What the heck, game? All right, let's show you in the menu first that we did just get it. And then we're going to check why we suddenly got it. Manifest Mexico. There you are. What happened? We suddenly got this. Now, let's have a look at the US of A. They are no longer a great power. The ranking changed. Right? The minimum changed. It increased. And maybe, potentially, possibly, the grace timer you have for staying above the threshold doesn't automatically reset once you go above it again. Maybe it takes time above it to stabilize you. And now that they went below the threshold again, because the threshold rose for some reason, things are fine. I have been moaning for absolutely no reason. Good. Great that I disabled the achievement overlay, so you cannot see it. Awesome. Great, awesome. We did it. What did we do? Kind of tempted to let this Prussian war run out, but I mean, honestly, why? What are we doing here? We had to take, well, according to the achievement description, we had to take the Pacific Coast and the Great Plains and have a greater power rank than the US of A. I don't remember where we started, and I might just, because we have some time left for this episode, I might just load into a fresh game in a minute so we can have a look at our starting situation again and see how we evolved from there. But for a long time we stayed friends with the US of A. We ate a little bit of Canada at some time and ate a little bit into South America at some time, but mostly we just sat here, reaped our gold mines, our rich natural resources, became a very powerful economic power. Yes. I mean, look at that GDP. We have thrice the GDP of the next person. Look at how sad that curve looks. I mean, look at our curve. Yoink. And yeah, they just fumbled. Did anybody rise? I mean, Great Qing got better, but not like we did. France was fine. I mean, some people were doing okay. Italy actually has one of the better curves before they had their revolution. Look at Egypt going off there in the end. Well, it's much lower numbers, but still. The Ottomans, so much for the sick man of Europe. Doesn't look particularly sick to me. Bavaria rising, which is disgusting. And of course, other things. Oh, look at Britain. No. Anyway, so we powered up. At some point, the United States of America decided that they don't like us anymore, triggering us to go to, to mobilize, to build a whole bunch of barracks and to crush them in a few consecutive wars. First one was actually won by the Austrians mostly, if I remember correctly. And we were just there to poke a few Americans. Yeah, and then we found out that the achievement doesn't actually require you to have all of the Great Plains, nor all of the Pacific coast, nor is that all that you need, which is so weird. It is so weird. At least not in the strategic region kind of sense. We didn't need the Canadian part of the Great Plains or the Canadian part of the Pacific coast, which means we didn't need to fight the Russians or Alaska either, which is kind of nice. But we did actually need a few pieces of Dixie here. We didn't need to liberate Louisiana. We just did that to hurt the US of A. And also, I mean, it's always nice to liberate people, right? From oppression. Disgusting. Yeah. So, powered up, fought a bunch of wars, took their stuff, and humiliated them and all that, and then things went okay. Let's have a quick look at how the world looks in 1920. There's a thing happened in Prussia. There was no damn foolish thing in the Balkans yet, even though it's 1920, so that is surprising. Why is it surprising? Is Austria in this war? Did they join on our side? Why is there a front there? I know. You have a war against the... you have a war against Italy and a war against France. Okay, Austria versus the world. So maybe there was a bit of a damn foolish thing near the Balkans at least. Not our problem though. These wars, can I say, that's a lot of Austrians versus not a lot of Italians. And if we look at France, yeah, it looks better, but still, yikes. Anyway, that's the world. Great Qing is great. Although not a great power, because the game is weird like that. Also, at rank 14 they wouldn't be, but still. But they're only at rank 14, I believe. Yeah, because they're an unrecognized power. Otherwise, they would be a great power for sure with 2,570 prestige. But they never got into a war with a great power and won, so that's where they are. New South Wales taking all of Australia is kind of funny to me. What else do we have that's funny? I mean, the Dutch East Indies are not that funny. They're just not that funny. India does not look... I mean... what's with this border gore inside the East India Company? Especially with the part of it being Great Britain. That's so weird. That looks quite odd. But I do kind of like that the East India Company is actually a country in its own right. And it's not, I don't think it's like somebody's protectorate or anything. No, they have their own protectorate. Yeah, they just outgrew their British overlords, which I applaud. I do not applaud their choice of government. 60% landowners? I mean, gee whiz. Have a look at other people. How are they being ruled? Bunch of landowners in Russia, that's not too surprising, I suppose. Bunch of militarists in France, that's also not surprising. Austria, good and communist, not as communist as we are, but we like the trade unions over here. Good. Same for Spain, although they do have some military and even industry in the government. And then we have the rural folk ruling Great Britain, which, you know, that makes sense, I suppose. What about, the US of A actually also are quite, well, they have a terrible government. That does not look like, can we see their strength here? I mean, it has to be bad, the prestige. But I can't actually see it. Also, this shows clout, not votes. So I don't actually know how bad the government is this way. Who knows? How does it look for us if we look at... Wait, we don't get that information the same way for us. I mean, we have it on our politics screen. I just wanted to compare them on the same screen. Yeah, trade unions, intelligentsia, and then, you know, further runs. Can't believe we still have fascists in our country. Disgusting. But everybody's super happy we get all the bonuses. And I mean, look at those loyalists. That's right. You just get plus 10 or plus 11 approval on everybody for free. Just like that. We didn't quite make it to 30. And honestly, my motivation to play to 30 right now is not insane. Standard of living. So we're probably not going to do that, even though I was kind of interested what the 30 icon would be. I'll never find out. Well, never. Never say never. Population. You see these bumps in there? These are probably places, times where we took somebody's land. Otherwise, a nice little rise. Education, we have no curve, but we did all we could. We're number 3 worldwide. We're still behind Schleswig and Belgium, which is sad. But I don't think we could have done anything else to increase our education, other than having our education institution at max and constantly giving people education access. Maybe there was a little bit that could have been done with, decrees. Is there one that gives education? Yeah, social mobility. So we could have spent our authority on some social mobility somewhere, maybe inched out a little bit more education, but I don't think it would have been all that much. GDP does speak for itself. We just did quite nicely. I think we could have exploded even more by investing into more construction early on when we had a lot of money. But we clearly did all right with that. We just could have been even more sick. Although we're starting to get to the point where we really run out of raw resources to feed our industry, especially lead and oil are a huge deal. So if we wanted to really kickstart our industry even more, or have an even more impressive industry, we'd really need to go out in search for people who have oil and lead. I'm sure they exist, and I'm sure that's a political move that has been made in the past before, but we were not really into that. The Peruvian-Bolivian market, actually quite large. Funny. How does the world look market-wise? Well, the Russians are just the Russians. The Qing are the Qing plus neighbors. Bunch of Austrian plus the French. It's all very normal or unsurprising. Bit of Italy and Northern Africa. Otherwise, the huge. The New South Wales market. Yes. Alright. What's going on even on Cuba? I don't know. That's the Spanish market, it's the Italian market, and that's some revolt market, I assume. Okay. Anything else we want to be looking at before we end this campaign? The loss we ended on, you can see over here. I wish we had gotten out of this again. I would have kind of liked to try command economy at some point, but that would have required us to do something I wasn't willing to do. Alright, get the rural folk in charge, but surely not a thing we care about. I wouldn't have utterly mind trying Council Republic. In the end, I decided not to, but it's not something I'm utterly uninterested in ever trying. Otherwise, I have no clue whether we should have gone for a different military law, but we never needed conscripts. Did we want conscripts? I don't know, maybe. Could have mobilized a lot more people, but hurt our economy a lot more. We didn't need it, so I did like staying professional, I think, here. And otherwise, multiculturalism, universal suffrage, total separation. There's not actually I guess parliamentary republic is the most democratic thing here. Probably. Yes. Yes, that would have been. But, president. El Presidente. Why not? Colonial exploitation. Yeah, we didn't need it. We never had the chance to get rid of it. I think we started with it, right? We used it early on in the north. I think we had colonial resettlement then. But all the Africa stuff we did really didn't matter all that much. Ban slavery, as one should. Migration controls. Not what I like, but they didn't matter. So we didn't ever need to try to swap to here. And we didn't have anybody that wanted it. Because we never had industrialists in charge. Women's suffrage, of course. Primary school is compulsory. Workers are protected. And speech as well. So pretty good. Pretty good place to be in our Mexico. All right, let me get out of here. Let's have a quick look at the starting map. And at that time, well, after that, we're gonna put a cut into this here campaign. Now, I don't know what's next, to be quite fair. Not quite honest, I suppose. I don't feel like I'm done with Wiki 3, but I really, oh, what's going on here? Okay, no. I really want to wait with the Wiki, with another Wiki campaign until some patches are in, because there are a lot of things that annoy me about the game, and we don't need that. So I don't know, I might run another EU4 campaign, but I have no good idea what that would be yet. So I don't know. There might be a few days break, potentially, possibly, if I can't figure out what I want to do. Do feel free to leave me a comment as to what you would like to see. E4 achievement, special Wiki 3 stuff, other games. I'm all up for information there. All right, this is our start. Originally, we started at rank 28. That's not 1 at all. We had, where are we even? I know we're 28, but I don't see us. Can I sort by rank? Of course I can. There we are. We had 34 whole prestige, as opposed to our 15,000 we had in the end. Our GP was 1.5 billion or something in the end. So that grew a little bit. I don't remember. Oh, standard of living was almost 40. No, almost 30. Almost 30. And I don't remember our population, but I feel like it was like 70 million or something. It was a lot more than this. So we grew Mexico a teensy tiny little bit. Now the United States of America don't look all that big at the start because it's all these natives still being all native-like. But I mean, look at that: 30 million GDP to our 4, 16 million population to our 7. And they actually know what a book is too, which, you know, I love that they never really got. I mean, they did get above the standard of living for a while, but they didn't really ever get out of being impoverished, which is as it should be. As it should be. Yeah, you can see we didn't even grow all that much in our this little bit. Oh, I can't. I wish I could drag boxes here. A little bit of Central America, as we said. And then essentially our manifest destiny, manifest Mexico. So all the native territories plus some America here, right? That's North Dakota. Well, almost all the native territories, I suppose. Didn't take Minnesota. And that's that. That's where we came from. And you all saw where we went. Thank you so much for watching. Really. Sticking to me to the end in campaigns like this is great. I love that. Also, there's been quite a few of you recently. I don't know if that's because it's Wiki 3 or because somehow people got to my channel. More people got to my channel than usual. But I like it. So feel free to say hello. I am quite bad these days at responding to my comments, not because there's tons of comments or because comments are bad, but because of how my life has shaken out recently. And it doesn't matter. Excuses. I'm bad at it, but I want to be better, and I do get to read comments eventually, and I try to respond to most of them. So please feel free to say hi, and also, as I said, to let me know about things that we could do in the future. If this was your first thing you saw on my channel, I do a lot of EU4, European Universalis 4, or have been in the past at least, and I've been playing a few other games off and on in between. That's gonna be it. Thank you for watching. See you folks in our next campaign, whatever that may be.